from the AAB College Pristina in Kosovo, and they will present Pristina, Ulpiana, Artana, Novo, Brdo. I don't know if my presentation is fine.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
I am really glad in seeing you. So the floor is yours. You can start your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Do you see our page?
Yes. Is everything clear?
Yes, you can go. We see everything is fine. Okay, thank you.
Pristina, the capital of Kosovo. Pristina is the capital of Kosovo with about 250,000 inhabitants. Also a university city with over 50,000 students from throughout the country. Pristina is a political, economic, cultural, and diplomatic center of Kosovo. It is a very dynamic city with bright and positive youth, with many cultural arts, urban, and sports events. A Pristina walking tour includes the Museum of Kosovo, the Bazaar, the Stone Mosque, Yashar Pasha Mosque, Saad Kula or the Clock Tower, Sultan Mehmed Fatih or the Big Mosque, the Hammam, the Turkish public bath, the Ethnological Museum of Kosovo, Mother Teresa Boulevard, the Monument of Heroines, Mother Teresa Cathedral, University Campus, National Library, National Gallery of Kosovo, and Kërmia National Park. Outside of Pristina city are Artana or Novo Brdo Castle, Sultan Murad Tomb, which is the oldest Ottoman building in Kosovo, Monument Battle of Kosovo of 1389, the Gračanica Orthodox Monastery, which is now a UNESCO site, Ulpiana Ancient City, which is now an archaeological park, and the Bear Sanctuary Park with about 20 brown bears. We have Ulpiana, the ancient Roman city, as I mentioned. The Municipium Ulpiana or Justiniana Secunda was an ancient Roman city. In 2016, it was proclaimed as an archaeological park under protection by the Kosovo Council for Cultural Heritage. The protection zone of the archaeological park has 96 hectares and also includes Justinopolis, which was constructed during the reign of Justinian. Ulpiana was among the largest settlements in the Balkans of the late antiquity. During the 3rd and 4th centuries AD, Ulpiana reached a peak of development, thus bearing the name Municipium Ulpiana Splendissima. After an earthquake in 518, Emperor Justinian renamed the city to Justiniana Secunda, in comparison to the earlier fortified Justiniana Prima. Ulpiana lies in fertile land where nearby there is a mine which has been used since Roman times. The mine notably played a considerable role on the development of important cities in Roman province of Dardania. Today one can find the ruins of the city around 9 kilometers southeast of Pristina. On the north side of the city is a cemetery, where several important establishments have been found, such as the foundation of Basilica, the Paleolithic Christian of early Christianity, built in the early 9th century by Emperor Justinian. With the addition of the use of air photography and satellites, in the past years, archaeologists with no costly digging were able to find and describe many big antique buildings, which included a public bathroom, the forum or the administrative center of the city, a residency of the bishop in the era of early Christianity, and also a baptismal chapel. And we also have Artana or the Novo Brdo Castle, as we mentioned before. The Novo Brdo Castle is a medieval castle and cultural monument in Kosovo. It was mentioned with its present name in documents as early as 1326. The castle consists of 2 parts, the upper castle with 6 towers and the eastern and western towers with a rectangular base, while the others have a square base. The castle is located around 39 kilometers south of East Pristina. According to existing sources, Artana or Novo Brdo was mentioned for the first time with this name in the first decades of the 19th century under the name Novo Monte, which is in Serbian Novo Brdo. The castle withstood 3 empires. Traces of the Roman Empire and the Byzantine Empire can also be found. Opposite of the entrance of the cathedral, there is a mosque building with a low minaret, which the Ottoman Empire built during their occupation to leave its mark. The last conqueror before Serbia were the Bulgarians. Some reports show that some channels around the castle were opened by some pirates in search of gold. The castle is protected by the Institute for the Protection of Monuments of Kosovo. Artana, a Novo Brdo castle, is said to have been rich in gold. The data at that time show that in 1450, the mines of Artana produced close to 6,000 kilograms of gold per year. And this was the reason why many times it was attempted by different people to dig illegally in search of that gold. The clock tower or Sahat Kula. The clock tower is an old monument of cultural heritage located right in the capital of the Republic of Kosovo in Pristina. Clock tower is a building with cultural, historical, and architectural values. Located at the heart of the old town, the hexagonal clock tower reaches the height of 26 meters. The tower was built in the end of the 19th century during Yasha Pasha's rule, not far from his mosque, and is located in the courtyard of the gymnasium building. It is one of the most important monuments of utilitarian architecture in Pristina. It was built to regulate the citizens' relationship to religion and time. The clock tower signaled daily prayers and synchronized the working hours of the shop owners. Due to that, most of the stores opened and closed at the same time. The clock mechanism worked until the mid-70s, where it did not work until 2001. In this year, the clock mechanism and bell were stolen, while from 2002 and onwards, the clock mechanism was replaced with a digital clock. The original tower was burnt in a fire, and its bricks were used for reconstruction. The tower's bell was designed for Jan Moldovan in 1764, an origin that can be easily traced from the inscription on the bell. The bell was brought by the Ottomans from their wars in Moldova and Wallachia countries. On the surface of the bell, there were the Roman inscription for the year 1764 of Voivode Jan Moldovan, which in translation loosely means this bell was made for Voivode Jan Moldovan in 1764. The roof construction is made of wood covered with lead plates. On all facades of the clock tower, there are small arched openings. The corners of the buildings are built with carved stones and bound with lime mortar. The National Museum of Kosovo. The National Museum of Kosovo was founded in 1949, while the building, with Austro-Hungarian architecture, dates back to 1885. It aims to preserve, protect, and present the cultural heritage of Kosovo. The Museum of Kosovo has its Department of Archaeology, Ethnography, and Natural Science, in which a department for the study of history and the National Liberation War was added in 1959. It has been active in sponsoring archaeological excavations, conservation, and other scientific work. The Museum of Kosovo includes a collection with more than 50,000 exhibits of different profiles, from the Pavilion of Archaeology, Technology, History, Nature, Ethnoculture, Folklore, Heritage, etc. Currently, the museum is engaged in the return of 1,200 objects or artifacts important for the cultural heritage of Kosovo, stolen from Serbian military and paramilitary groups during 1998 to 1999. There are 4 parts of this museum: the Museum of Kosovo itself, the housing complex of Eminjik, where the ethnological exhibitions are presented, the Museum of Independence, and the archaeological park. The National Museum of Kosovo, or Eminjiku. This ethnological complex is a pearl of Kosovo's cultural heritage. It consists of 4 buildings from the 18th and 19th centuries, and the extremely interesting ethnological exhibition, which shows ethnological terms of the 15th and 20th centuries. During the 90s, this complex was used as a nature museum. In the year 2003, the renovation of the complex had begun with the help of international donors to transform it into an ethnological museum. This building was once the property of the well-known Ginoli family. Since 1957, this group of buildings, including the servants' house, the guest house, and the family house, belongs to the Museum of Kosovo. Emin Ginoli was known by the nickname Emin Küçük, from the Turkish Little Emini, which later became Emin. The National Library of Kosovo. The National and University Library of Kosovo is the largest library institution in Kosovo. It was founded by the Assembly located in Pristina. The mission of the library is to collect, preserve, promote, and make accessible the documentary heritage of intellectuals of Kosovo. It contains exhibitions and maintains an archive of national newspapers. The library also provides other services. It is known for its unique history, and the style of the building was designed by Croatian architect Andrija Munjaković, but it has a lot of controversy over its exterior. This is a picture of the original plan for the University and Library of Kosovo, which was presented at the Museum of Modern Art in New York in 2018. The National and University Library of Kosovo was established by the Assembly of Kosovo, and its main purpose is to collect and preserve the intellectual heritage of Kosovo and for Kosovo. Its collections are a precious treasure of national, regional, and world heritage. The library was founded in November of 1944, and its headquarters were in Pristina. Then it was moved to Pristina in 1946. In 1952, the library was closed and its funds were appropriated by the former Miladin Popović Library. In 1956, the library was re-established in the building behind the current National and University Library of Kosovo building, which is now an art gallery. In 1982, the National and University Library of Kosovo, known at that time as the People's University Library of Kosovo, it begins its activity as an architectural object of a special style, with domes in which it still operates. Due to the historical and political circumstances that Kosovo has gone through, the National University Library of Kosovo has performed its function under practices and constraints of the ideological and political system, being known by different names, such as the Provincial Library, where it was established from 1944 to 1952, the Library Center of Kosovo, 1956 to 1961, the Provincial People's Library, 1961 to 70, the People's and University Library of Kosovo, 1990 to 1999, and since 1999, the Central Library Institution of Kosovo is known as National and University Library of Kosovo. And that's it. Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, dear friends. Patricia.
Yes, there was a very interesting progression here because you started with Prishtina, the capital of Kosovo, and then, interestingly, Ulpiana with the heritage of an ancient Roman city and all of the elements of that city, which is in the territory, and then coming back into Pristina to look at the monuments and the series. I found the clock tower particularly interesting as a way of keeping the day over the historical period, which is important to recognize that in the community there was one clock at that time, and that was the guider of the day. I think the stories are deep. The research you did is very good. The next step would be to link them together and create an itinerary of some kind for Kosovo using the relationship between the city, the Roman city, and the monuments. Congratulations.